Welcome back, everyone, to Mania 7 Key World Cup 2025. It's a new day, a new week, new round, and a new map pool. It is going to be the finals weekend. This is our first matchup for this entire. So for today, we got a TETC coming up right here. This is going to be, I believe, the matchup which I believe you have all been anticipating, especially for the underdogs. It's going to be Japan versus Peru right here. I'm Mifa, and let's give a warm welcome to Sparky. How do you feel after getting yourself a break?
I feel absolutely fantastic. I mean, looking at this matchup, who had this on their bingo card going into this tournament? Peru in finals going up against Japan in the losers bracket to try and make it to the second half of finals weekend. I certainly would not have seen this on the cards going into this tournament. Even when the seedings came out, it's like, okay, uphill battle, it's like valiant struggle, but no, Peru's been really doing a wonderful job punching above their weight to make it this far into the tournament, and I'm really excited to see how they're going to do against this really formidable Japan team.
Yeah, absolutely. Peru has been quite a bit of a underdog situation. We got a few things that in like the 4-key World Cup where I believe China hasn't seeded that far yet, but Peru has been kind of seeded similarly to that one. So we got a top 6 finalized right here. It's just a battle between both of these teams to get into the top 4 and having one more matchup to get to the podium there. But as we get into the match, we got Protects all up there. Japan protecting, like, really no surprise. Like, just a Core Jack Protect there for Japan. Rice 3, last fireworks. And Peru, however, I'm interested to see because protecting Hybrid 2, which I would say that is not totally uncalled for, especially a longer one that might straight up being like, just straight up almost mini tiebreaker in a way. But we also got like extreme bracket to take care of, which is definitely a lot harder than most of the regular picks.
Yeah, absolutely. We've gone this entire tournament always coining like Hybrid 3 and past map pools as like that mini tiebreaker-esque step above the rest of the map pool. Now we just have a whole dedicated section to it. But unsurprisingly, Hybrid 2, Peru going for that protect there. I mean, they've been the team willing to go into this hybrid pool to either like out physical or just being able to handle the transitional moments in some of those harder maps. So really not surprised to see them go into that one as they opt to ban out Rice 5.
Blocko will take offense to being banning the Blocko chart that has a Blocko name on it.
Yeah,
oh, we actually get to see banning the Nosu original, seems like. Cutting edge, insane artifact. We got no consistency LN in check here because Peru has been quite exceptional in the, I guess, the semifinals long, though. That is quote unquote density / coordination. But again, finals level, which as you can already tell, it's very hard.
Yeah, pulling no punches in this map pool. Unsurprised to see that go as well for Japan. Gonna probably devolve into a bit of a Rice versus LN type matchup, something we always love to see going into these particular matchups. And Japan going straight for that protect, wanting to start things off on the right foot, something that they're very comfortable with to kind of get things going. There's a lot on the line here, and I mean, you want to be that team putting yourself in the best position to get to those podium positions, so why not just throw out that protect to start things off here?
Yeah, this pick in particular has, unlike the last map pool, which has the core jack, is just straight up a battle between just chords. Chord sizes of 4 and 5. This has more anchors involved in here. So I'm wondering, this is Japan's home turf. As you would say, because they have been protecting core jacks throughout this entire tournament.
Yeah, they are very comfortable with this particular skill set in the Rice Bowl. We have seen some ridiculous team scores from them on this particular style of pick. I feel like every weekend they pull out a 999k somewhere along the lines. I remember I don't have the I don't live in a area where I can see them live, so I always have to go through the match report, and I just see a core jack pick, and I see those scores, and I'm like, ah, okay, Japan played. But with that out of the way, yeah.
Interesting to note that Butanic is somewhat absent, from what I can tell. But so we have Suzua to play instead of Butanic right here. But as you can already tell, this has quite a bit of just anchors in between, and it really starts to show that Peru skill ceiling might have reached its breaking point right here. Already a 5-digit lead.
Yeah, not having the best of starts to start this map up. Love and Divisa checking in for the Peruvians on this protect against Japan, and not having the best go of it to start things off in comparison to their Japanese counterparts, both Rainly and Suzuha. Above that 99.7 mark to start this map off. Like you mentioned, 5-digit lead already, 35,000 points, and we're only done with the first quarter of the map.
Very good intro for Rainly there, taking a 99.9-ish. At the very least, just the first third of it, which that should not be anybody's worry to get very, very good accuracy by sharpshooting most of these. So the second half is something else.
Yeah, a nice little refrain from the bulk of the action. It was a very frenetic start to the map overall, and now you have this really long build up to kind of get resettled back in for Peru, getting back up with that 400 combo cap, maybe rebuild some accuracy, but a nasty transition for Divisa, able to hold on to their combo to try and make some sort of contesting motion towards Japan, as Suzuha finally finds a break for the Japanese, but gets traded out by Divisa, and the lead stays intact. In fact, grows to the tune of about 50,000 points going into the last quarter here.
Not looking particularly very good there for Peru right there, as the patterns are just keeps stacking up in between each other. The more weirder anchors in between outer columns, in which Rayleigh does not even care.
Yeah, they're kind of they've just kind of been in cruise control this entire map so far. Still quite a lengthy section to go. A 3-way miss across the rest of the lobby, and Rayleigh's just kind of like, okay, when are we getting to the actual map here as we get towards this outro? More trades across the board, but the only thing that seems to be changing is this Japanese lead, 120,000 points. There's a reason they protected, and that's without Butanic in the lobby.
That is still disgusting, given that yeah, that's 200. Okay, that's 200s. That's considering the difficulty of this pick is absolutely blown out of the water from like the last pool, but 166 300s on this is absolutely insane.
Yeah, for sure. It is a ridiculous score overall from Rainly. More than earning that MVP for that map. In Japan, like we mentioned, it's like there's a reason they've been protecting Rice 3, these core jack picks this entire tournament. They are so good at these that there really wasn't anything Peru could do.
Be mindful that this is also without Butanic in play, so this might not be their best. This might not be their best performance after all. But again, maybe Butanic switching up here, so maybe we can see Butanic in place instead of Rainly, I feel, because they're protect from Peru coming up.
For sure. So starting things off with Protect 1 and then Protect 2 right out of the gate here. Both teams just opting to kind of get settled in with their most comfortable pick. Just try and put it all out there immediately to ensure that they can notch something on the board here. And we see the substitutions bottom out the lobby. Butanic checking in. Suisse going to be coming in for Peru. Put in a heck of a shift last weekend to ensure that they could book their spot into this match, and looking to try and do it again here. So we'll have to see how they perform. Can they get this point back, or will Japan pick up the first break point in this match?
Butanic was saying that they do not have the map from previously. I'm wondering if this is a side read though.
It could be a number of things, either something changed, maybe they had it, or and like something got updated, or maybe got removed. Who knows? But honestly, I always like to say if you're sight reading a map, you can't mind block it because you don't know it. So
might be better just to straight up don't remember the map.
absolutely. Right now, just waiting on the players to get ready.
All right, we should be getting it soon. So we say coming for Peru this time. Having a valiant effort of the core jack by the Visa there, but having Suisse being the key member for Peru for most of the hybrid and long, that should be fine for them. Let's see if they can take this one.
So getting things underway, a much calmer start to things in comparison to that Rice 3 pick. Opportunity for everybody to begin to build up. These transitional moments are going to be so key. So many staircase runs all over the place. These longer LN anchors with so much interspersed in between the rest of the columns. You're all 7 fingers having to do something at any given time, and everybody making it up over that 400 combo cap with relative ease, only separated by the tiniest of margins as things stand at the moment here.
Everyone's starting really well on the, I guess, intro, but now Suso is taking the first drop, and actually traded by Suisse, right? It doesn't lead. The lead doesn't go anywhere. Oh, actually, now it starts to go to Japan. Suisse taking the second drop on their side.
Yeah, not traded back that second one there, but not gonna run away with it just yet. Suzo finding yet another drop. Traded once again by Suisse. It is a cross-map battle. Botanic and Love holding on to the full combos for their respective countries. But right now, Japan starting to build up on this lead as the multitude of missiles start piling up for Suisse here. And it's getting a little bit dangerous as we make our way into the second quarter of the chart as Suzuha trades one in the back, and Botanic falls as well. A full combo reset on the side of Japan as Love falls as well. No more full combos left in the lobby, but Japan going to be taking these trades for now. 9,000 points, still a bit of a fragile lead continuing on here.
Yeah, at least the lead is not going so much in the favor of Japan. Have more trades than not. Love is actually beating Suzu's accuracy, but the Botanic is a standout in between. Suzu does he have to have a lot of trouble in keeping most of these now.
Yeah, a bit of a calmer section, but as I said, Love finding another slider break here, going to drop them back down, and that was the higher accuracy for the Peruvians. Gonna start doing a bit way more damage as we continue on into this back half of the chart. Now Japan extending their lead to about 25,000 points, despite there not a lot going on musically. There's still so many notes to contend with as we see a three-way drop.
Seems like the lead's now extending forward to 34,000. Yeah.
Here, so we save the next one to find a drop going into the last quarter of the map. And as things stand, I mean, it was looking really close there in the beginning, but Peru starting to lose their footing as the map continued, and Japan just being the beneficiaries of that, being able to hang on to some really massive combos here to hold off this Peruvian advance. 45,000 points going into the last quarter here.
Looking particularly comfortable there, but I was about to say Suzuha was having an almost 3,000 combo, but it completely negates that. Way too comfortable with these patterns.
Yeah, and even when Japan does find those drops, we saw a full combo reset for both of them. Suzuha and Botanic finding drops through that section, traded out by Love and Suisse in multitudes on their own right, but the fact that they've been able to build up this much of a cushion, the fact that they've been able to hang on for as long as they have, they can kind of tank their way through some of those little hiccups here and there. And as this chart comes to an end, last couple of difficult bursts coming through here to read through.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a 53,000 point victory on Peru's Protect, and Japan going to get the first break point in this match to make it 2-0.
Impressive plays right there. Double 99s and a double high 98s for Peru right there. Just taking way too many drops there from the Peru side. Does seem we saw like couple more drops for Love on the easier quote unquote sections, but I do think that Peru has a chance on picking I guess the other hybrid and potentially maybe the extreme hybrid. But Japan's picking Rice 6. You get to see a little bit of a shift on terms of maybe how to play faster court streams. This is very fast still for a court stream.
Yeah, but ultimately at the end of the day, it is just a chord stream pick. I mean, some little intricacies here and there, but as long as you can handle the BPM, it's really just a matter of stylistically what do you want to go for. I think Japan's been one to kind of opt for these more straightforward-esque picks and then saving those tech picks for the end in that Rice pool. So I'm surprised to see that.
252 core stream though.
It's still
250
fast.
it's still like very fast even for 4-key standards, but 7-key is it's in the higher realm of just straight up lighter, faster chord stream. This is 252, that is.
Yeah, we'll just have to see, because I mean, Japan's looked really comfortable on basically every Rice pick that they have played. Give or take a couple here and there, but the question's really going to be, can Peru match up in terms of physicality? They have in the past against other teams, as Love finds the first drop and gonna give Japan a bit of a buffer to work with through this introduction. A relatively clean drop overall. It's just the average accuracy for these two countries as Suzuha finally finds the trade in return. Traded back once again by Love and
Sweet
this time around.
Yeah, the only again standout once again is Mutanic from like 99.85. Just handling core stream like there's no room for like any sort of errors for Mutanic right there. But Love having some struggles in between the transitions into the faster core stream, and it does not look like he's having that much fun about it.
Well, you say that, but still above that 99% mark, so being able to keep those drops relatively clean, Suzuha does find one in return as the top half of the lobby kind of having a bit of their own little struggle compared to the bottom half here. So we say trying to contest against Butanic, but I mean, Butanic's kind of just standing on an island by themselves right now, close at 99.9% accuracy going into the second third of this chart.
It's way too much faster course for Butanic right there. So you say finally finding the drop. That's quite a bit of a bigger drop as well outside of that. But again, this is just their Japan's home turf right here. There's no stopping that all on the 99s on the Suzuha and Butanic, and Butanic still has the full combo, it seems.
Yeah, right now, I mean, just trying to latch onto anything for the Peruvians at the moment, not able to really establish that much once the first couple of drops began coming down, and it feels like as the song progresses, it's just like a 10th here, a 10th there being dropped outside of the natural combo breaks that would happen on a chart this difficult. Yeah. And I mean, most of this lead can really just be attributed to this inhuman level of performance from Butanic at the moment. 99.81, a 0.5% ahead of their own teammate. As we make our way, a quarter of the map still left to go. I mean, all eyes just on the bottom left-hand corner of the lobby, looking to see just how high this number can get as it stands.
All I can see the 200 is from the non-core stream. I saw 200 on Ellen. Oh, there you go. Butanic, there's no full combos in Butanic, right, dropping at the very end.
Yeah, unfortunate to do that, but I mean, the damage is already done. Just that Herculean performance from them. Suzuha not too far behind, being able to lend that supporting score. Does find a couple of drops here and there towards the end, but all is said and done, 80,000 points to the good here, and Japan make it 3-0.
Wait. Hang on a minute. 10-to-1 ratio with 4 200s. Okay. Okay, dude.
That's ridiculous. That is disgusting.
Oh god. Okay, renowned LN. I guess LN2 might be the closest one that Peru can get through, as Japan banning the OSU original LN3. This has a similar vibes to it, so I'm assuming Peru is very well rehearsed over the fact that they can take density. That's what they're saying.
Perhaps, and now the question being posed to Japan, can you handle the LNs of this pool? And it'll give us a bit of an insight as to how comfortable they're feeling with the map pool overall, outside of either of these two teams venturing into those EX picks. If Japan could put up another good team score, good balanced team score, like they have on the hybrids and on the rice picks, then I would be very scared for whoever they could potentially go up against if they do manage to close this out.
Yeah, we'll see. This is arguably like one of the easier. Well, I say easier would be kind of like an
Big
oxymoron,
quotation marks.
but kind of an oxymoron right there. But one of the easier picks to deal with to get a higher average score. That is, but it really depends on just taking on the density. That is.
As we venture into the first of the LN picks in this match, Peru gonna offer the density pick. And as we get things started, love finding the first drop here.
I guess at least the drop at the intro doesn't really matter a whole lot there. Oh, Butanic, that's a huge drop right into below 99s there over the fact there. So lead still not cut down whatsoever. Love trading that one after Butanic's missed there.
Yeah, a bit of a sloppy transition for Butanic, but able to begin the recovery run as Suisei finds the next drop. The only person holding on to a full combo at the moment is Suzuha. As we make our way into the second third of the chart, Suisei finding another drop, not going to be answered back as Love follows suit thereafter. And a full combo reset on the side of Peru as Butanic trades back one of them, but you take these trades if you are Japan at the moment going into the back half. 30,000 points now off the back of this FC run from Suzuha at the moment.
Yeah, it's really looking very, very good there for Suzuha. 99.5, still holding the full combo, and more drops like from Peru's side right here. It just probably doesn't cut it. It really needs to have Japan to be absolutely complete a misread few patterns here and there.
Absolutely, it's gonna need to, or Peru's gonna need some help to try and get back into this one, but ultimately they need to start kind of settling in here. Butanic finding the drop on the transition into this next KI section, gonna be a good start, but both Love and Suisei find the drops in return, going to reestablish this lead that Japan has built up. Suzuha finally falls from their perch, but once again, damage already being done. They can afford to take some of these drops as they come in. It was so clean, you barely even recognize it. The second one coming through here as everybody's starting to find drops, except for Butanic this time around, going into this outro, but the lead is 70,000 points.
Ultimately, the second half, I guess the second half of it, it's just kind of reading LN walls, which, yeah, in case you forget that Japan is very good at LN walls.
Yeah, one can say that. Japan taking a second break point in this match to make it 4-0, and I mean,
boy,
they've looked so comfortable on every aspect of this map pool so far.
Shoutouts to Love there as well for hanging on there in terms of, I guess, the ratio, keeping neck and neck on the ratio against like the stronger players from Japan.
Yeah, able to stand toe-to-toe. It's just one of those, like, there's levels to the performance right now. And right now it just feels like Peru is just, like, half a step behind in terms of the scores they're needing to swing out to contest against Japan. They start off great, where we see the tiny bits of back and forth, and then once the drops start coming through, the map starts getting progressively harder and harder. They're just not able to put the team score together.
Oh, okay. We're getting to see technical pick right out of the gate. This is the one that is just extremely janky.
That's definitely a way to describe it.
These patterns are just not friendly to do on if you're able to get through all of these without flinching, hats off to you, but these patterns are disgusting. There are more polyrhythmic structures than just your typical just technical patterns that are just relying on trills, mini jacks, or something like that. It just expanded into something like this. It's just absolutely mind-blowing.
For sure, we'll have to see how Peru stands up to Japan on this style of pick. Maybe this is a bit of an opening, the silver lining. It's not as straightforward. There's potential for pitfalls here and there if they can make it through some of these harder sections. As you mentioned, it's just so polyrhythmic, so technical, so abrasive at times that, who knows, some misreads here and there, and they can find something to cling on to as we see Divisa check back in for the Peruvians on this pick.
Yeah, also being the lowest star rating on this map pool, it just completely gives you a false sense of hope.
I'm mercifully just shy of 2 minutes, so won't have to be on the ride for that long, but boy is it a bumpy one if you aren't prepared.
You know the chart is janky if the background itself is very, very vaporwavy.
You just gotta
Yeah,
feel
like
it.
just all of these patterns are just not. It's just very hard to approximate. The Visa already taking to the below 97 already.
Yeah, if you're one that needs a solid downbeat to understand where you are at any point in the chart, this is not the chart for you. And we see Rain Lady trade back one of those misses as we continue
these
on at another
patterns,
trade.
Rayleigh is actually on the 98s there. Might I'm wondering, trying to take too hard on accuracy right there. But Love Ask, you're trading that out. So, unsurprisingly, to nobody's surprise, Botanic is still holding 99.4. And the full combo, that is.
Yeah, did take some damage to their accuracy early on, but was able to kind of weather the worst of it through that introduction while everybody else was catching the misses. And that was what I was hoping Peru would be able to do as we got into this map, where they could try and hang on to some semblance of combo, maybe at the expense of the accuracy, but a three-way drop from everybody else in the lobby leaves Botanic on an island once again with a third of the map left to go, a full percent ahead of anybody else and accounting for a bulk of the 60,000 point lead that Japan has built up.
When you know that you have a break section that doesn't really contribute so much on having you a break.
Yeah, points like that, you kind of just wish there were nodes raining down for you to do, because trying to time through some of those harder sections is ridiculously...
My god. And oh, there you go, Botanic. There's a drop right there once again at the very end of it.
And making our way to this outro, it was well and truly done early on, but just putting a nice little bow there. 107,000 points, not much Peru can do despite their best efforts.
11 200s on this chart though. That is to consider that polyrhythmic structure in this is not really something very, very friendly to get through, and 11 200s on this is absolutely just ridiculous.
Yeah, one of the higher scores we'll probably see this weekend on this chart, if it even gets played at all the rest of this weekend. That was quite a bit of a ride, and Japan now looking really good, 5 points to the good, just needing 2 more to close this one out. Peru up to pick once again, looking to try and notch something up here. I mean, there's still 2 LM picks. They have the EX picks if they're feeling a little spicy.
Yeah, the EX picks. I'm just giggling over here that EX picks are actually getting picked, but we still have the other LN picks that are just easier to get through almost all of it though.
You also have Hybrid 1, but no, it's gonna be LN4.
Oh, okay. Not too bad. At least it's not completely LN wall. You just have to contend with most of the well, I guess coordination would be kind of a deal with this. OD5, that is.
Yeah, it's definitely its own special form of torture in terms of as far as LN styling goes. Definitely probably preferable to something like LN1, but as it stands, I mean, they're gonna need to get through at a level higher than that of Japan, because right now Japan has kind of had their number on all aspects of this map pool. If they can find it within themselves to pull together something here, maybe they can start scrapping for some of these other points, because they're gonna need to start getting some breakpoints back.
We're back in the early 2000s vibe with the with the actual the song itself, and the patterns do not feel like they come from like a 2000 vibes of patterns. Or too jamish, that doesn't really coincide with the other patterns that we've seen from the LN maps in full. Suicide.
I mean, when having to put out your best score, it's one of those, like, I feel like they've run through their comfort picks. Like, that Protect was arguably their best chance to kind of get this match started on the right foot, and now they're just kind of like, okay, what do we have left that we are not going to pull our hair out over?
Yeah, but this is also like Japan's chance of taking another breakpoint right here. So if this goes to 6-0, then Japan has the last pick, and I'm wondering if they're gonna go just leaving the EX bracket aside and just don't pick any of those.
Could very well happen. We'll just have to wait to see what happens. See if Peru can notch a point on the board, or if Japan can make it a match point situation with their pick upcoming here.
Just a couple intro that starts off okay, but be mindful about those the second half, or I guess the choruses that is that are just not friendly to get through. And love already taking the first drop. And you tag trading. Oh, actually, no one's have a whole combo there.
Unsurprising, there's so much going on already, and we're only just getting through the first quarter. A full lobby wipe, Peru taking a bit of extra damage in comparison to their Japanese counterparts. Titanic actually finding a pretty sizable drop, and actually love holding on to the highest accuracy in the lobby overall. Just not having the supporting score from Suisei to try and make some inroads in this lead that Japan has built up. And as we continue, still more struggles for everybody outside of Suzuha, who has the highest
wow.
everybody here.
Skyrockets to like about almost 50,000. Suisse is dropping to under the 98s, on the 97, mid 97s there, but Love is also dropping below 99, and just Japan is still holding dear live at the 99s over there. Suzuha is still looking very comfortable with this already.
As you say, they're finding a drop on the transition, but once again, just damage already done going into the back half of the chart. Japan building up enough of a cushion to kind of mitigate any score loss.
No one's at the 99 after the shield galore. Yeah, this is you have to really tank throughout this the next section, right? Which just involves more of the I guess more tighter releases. That is also content with shields in between, which Peru does have a lot of struggle in between, and just considerable LN walls in between that Japan doesn't really want to drop at all.
Yeah, they happen here and there, just a little slider breaks where they just release a little too early to try and continue on, as it gets even denser transitioning out of that section, and we continue on into this outro. And I mean, there is very little you can do against a performance like this from Japan. Both their players in and around that 99% mark, looking so comfortable on a map this hard, is definitely terrifying.
Losing the 99s there, but similar scores all around. But even then, the highest score goes to Suzuha right there after having massive combos on the side there. But that's a match point there, 6-0 to Japan, and you know we're going to EX1 seems like. But hang on a minute.
No, that is not Japan's pick.
Hang on. Oh, was it actually? We kind of glossed or kind of missed what Japan's pick there, but maybe. Okay, next one.
Okay.
All right. This chart right here is the pinnacle of evil in the finals map pool.
Well, it's the old situation. Congratulations, you played yourselves. They decided to mess around and now found out.
37, which we have to remind you that this is still lower than the two core stream picks on terms of star rating.
At this point, it might as well just be 1 star. Like, no, what are we doing here? This is calculations be damned. This is really hard.
How do you actually hang on? I mean, this is what a mixed rice would have been if it was on like a regular pick, but this being tuned up to 11 with patterns that are just completely straight up 230 mini jacks in between the transitions. Good luck on getting S ranks. That is.
Oh, we'll just have to wait and see. I always like to say we like to set these bars for the players to meet, and they just clear them with such ease that it makes you wonder, what are we even doing here? Like they make these maps as hard as humanly possible, and we're still getting here like 99%. 970.
We're about to change that. We're about to change
here we go.
That. 98's on the intro, which I mean, this is still kind of long too for a 3-minute pick.
Absolutely, you're in it for the long haul, and right now, Raylily and Sweet Save.
Oh, Raylily! Oh, tanking a lot there actually, dropping to below the two Peru's accuracies right here.
Yeah, but both Peruvians finding a almost simultaneous drop on that section, transitioning on into these aggressive staircase runs, even catching up Butanic, who was holding on to the highest accuracy in this lobby, still is actually the only one above that 99% mark as we continue on here. And this actually isn't growing into as huge of a lead as we have seen Japan being able to squeak out through this introduction.
Yeah.
Only 18,000 points as it stands.
Surprisingly, this still works almost in their Peru's favor, but it needs more drops, that is, and Peru needs to hang on.
Yeah,
okay, these patterns. Okay, these patterns right here. Just more mini checks in between, more burst railing. It takes a Butanic dropping right here, but Peru is actually taking so much damage right here.
Yeah, and even when Japan does find the drops to trade back, so
polyrhythmic core streams,
so clean in comparison. Simultaneous drops once again for Peru, full combo resets on their side, not able to establish much of a foothold, but they're trying to climb. But in that exchange, very few exchanges from their Japanese counterparts, and the lead grows to 72,000. It was 20,000 at one point, but as we make our way into the last quarter,
the complexity, it just goes to 100 very quickly. And even then, we still have the last third of it, which you might not seem like the greater of the two evils. More speeding up, actually. So we get to see we get to see a little bit of a bracketing before we get to the spicier parts.
Yeah, even in the build-ups, you oh my goodness, you just get dropped right into it as Love and Butanic start trading back, but ultimately the writing is on the wall. Japan's lead is only growing. Where one falls, the other picks up the pieces to help extend this lead, and with only the tiniest slivers left to go, the last vestiges of hope that Peru had slowly slipping away, 117,000 points, and Japan going to close it out with a sweep 7-0 to make it to the second half of finals weekend.
What do you ratio this chart, Butanic? Come on.
No. Oh, why? How?
This is not you would usually make this like an accuracy chart, but Butaning does proven that one of the best 7 key players in the world. That it seems like.
Absolutely. I mean, hats off to Peru, fighting tooth and nail to make it this far. Unfortunately, their ride ends at the first step of finals weekend, but I feel like they've enjoyed the ride. And hats off to Japan, who will
Yeah.
be not done yet. They got one more match this weekend.
Yeah. Secure top 4 for Japan and Peru, having their very first top 6 finish in this tournament, which might remind you that Peru hasn't been like pretty much particularly active in the 7K community, but showing up in this 2025 iteration and top 6 just straight up, it's a feat on its own right.
Absolutely. I think we mentioned it last weekend when they punched their ticket into this top 6. Went from did not participate to the 6th place spot. So, I mean, kudos to them. But that will do it for this match. Still got plenty more action to come here. A lot of things left to be decided. Who will be going into the grand finals in that winner's bracket? Who will be facing off against Japan? The next match will be taking place 7 hours from now. Philippines taking on Indonesia to see who will be going up against the aforementioned Japan. But Mifa, before we sign off here, do we have anything else left to add?
Yeah, actually, this would be the perfect time for you to look at O Store and purchase the team banners here for this tournament. And you know, you can purchase your favorite team banners here to support your favorite teams and go to O Store, and maybe you can purchase multiples of them. If you can stack them in your profile page and making sure you have all the relevant banners to be able to show off your support for those teams. And in particular, it also helps all the proceedings to fund the prize pool, which, you know, these teams in particular in the finals, top 6, and even more so for top 4, which Japan has secured top 4 in their behalf. All the supports are very much appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you pick the winning team in your banner, that banner gets to stick around that much longer. So definitely do show your support. Multiple teams, always lovely, but that prediction aspect also pretty enticing, all for the low cost of $2.50 USD. And if you want to support teams that aren't even in, why not go pick up a banner today? But until then, we'll take our break for now. We'll be back in about 7 hours for Philippines versus Indonesia, and we'll catch you guys later.
This has been Mifa, and Sparky commentating. We'll be signing off.
"少し